My friends, it is that time. Another month has passed, so it's time for another Q&A, where I get to talk about stuff I don't get to normally talk about in other videos. Now, how this works is I take questions from YouTube memberships and Patreon folks, and also this comment section. So essentially, these questions are from the comment section of the last Q&A video. So if you got anything for me at all, you want me to talk about something weird or topical, just leave it in these comments. Let's just jump right in. Long-winded explanation over. KB Jodograph says, if Remedy asked you to write the storyline for Max Payne 4, what would you do? All right, let's just start off with big hot takes, okay? Right away. I really like Max Payne 3, but I don't like the way it ended. I think that Max happily ending on a beach doesn't really feel totally right for the character. It is a character that has been through so much, and I get on one hand some people would want to see him win at the end of the day or just relax on a beach and finally chill. I don't know. It just doesn't feel quite right. It didn't feel as earned as it could have. It kind of felt a little sudden. So what I would do for Max Payne 4 is, I don't really know. I would want to just drag him into hell again, but like, you know, they did kind of wrap things up. So how do you go back from that? I think what I would do, I would just do what part of Max Payne 3 did, where it went back in time and told a little like sub-Max New York story. Max Payne 4 for me, I would make it like a new Max story in between somewhere, between 1 and 2, or really ideally, I guess, between 2 and 3. There's a lot you could do, and I would put it in New York again. I would, I just don't really know what I would do. The stories have covered a lot. The stakes have been personal. There's been a lot already, so I don't know what more you could possibly do. This is a really hard question. Basically, the long story short, I just wanted to put it out there. I wouldn't do Max Payne 3, the ending. I like putting Max in a different setting. I think putting him in Brazil was a cool change of pace. As much as I love him as a New York noir thing, it worked. But if they ever end up making a Max Payne 4, I don't envy whoever's job it is to come up with that story. I'll just say that. Peter Gecko says, there are so many games this year. What are some titles that you've missed out on and would like to circle back to eventually? Right off the top of my head, Dave the Diver. Definitely. I've talked about that before. Like, I've been really trying to find time to play through that one because it seems like something I would be into mechanically. Also, right now, if we're talking kind of indie style games, El Paso Elsewhere just dropped, and it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, but the year is just so filled, and I'm reviewing so many other games right now that I don't have time to play it right away. I really wish they dropped it at a quieter time of year, because then it could, you know, have a little bit more time to shine. But this is like a Max Payne 1 inspired third-person shooter with slow-mo diving and stuff, like right up my alley. Also, Armored Core. I did not do the game ranks before you buy, but my friend Andrew, shout out to Andrew, hello, who's editing this, he sat me down and pitched me on it, because I was like, I don't think I need another From Software game right now. I know it's not the same as like their regular RPGs, but like I just don't feel like dealing with From Software right now. And he sat me down and was like, listen, look at this game. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna play it in front of you. You like cool robots, you should play this. And I sat down and I watched him play for like 20 minutes, and I was like, yeah. And I mean, the fact that he was serious enough to pitch me, get yourself a friend that will do that, that will sit down and have an intervention with you and tell you, basically force you to play a game that you would probably like. Ty MG 8 ounce says, what is the saddest moment you've ever experienced in a video game? For them, it's Tali's last conversation with Shepard when she says, I want more time. Breaks my heart every time. That's a good answer. I don't have anything nearly as profound as that. Off the top of my head, the whole thing with Dom in Gears, with Dom and his wife, that was grim. Like, that really, like, that was a gut punch, at least for me. It was just the way it was done, the way it was portrayed. I'm not even like a diehard Gears of War fan or anything like that. I play all the games, I like them, but that moment was really, really well done, well earned. And also, I think the fact that like it was brutal as well, just kind of really let it sink in. It almost felt like Walking Dead-like, and how shocking and depressing it was. Also, without spoiling anything, Plague Tale Requiem. I actually, like, that one took my breath away by the end. I actually stopped and was like, wow, holy shit. That's a good game right there. Literally Euphoria says, is there a particular moment in gaming where it changed your perspective on gaming for better or for worse? For me, it was Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. It feels almost impossible to get ultra excited for new releases. I'm gonna be old for a second and say that like I haven't gotten ultra hyped for a game in a really long time. I actually think the days of like G4 on TV or just like video game magazines were the days I got really, really hyped about things. Now with so much information and so much access and being able to see previews, it's hard to get like as ultra excited because you can already know so much. There used to be more of that air of mystery around every game release, and I like that when a game still has kind of a secretive lead up to launch. Like I still look forward to that. But in terms, like if we're talking like a negative thing, you mentioned after Cyberpunk you felt burned and you don't get excited about new releases. I'm not like not excited about new releases, but where I did feel like a shift change was at the point with Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042 felt like another one on the pile. Like there was Cyberpunk, there were a couple of other games that released in really poor rough technical states, and Battlefield 2042 for me was like the cherry on top, or the opposite of a cherry, the last straw, the last hay bale on a pile. I don't know. I'm bad at metaphors, but that was the one where it finally made me realize, I'm like, yeah, there have been a shit ton of really rough, messy, botched releases. What is going on? That was the one to really like kind of like snap me and make me wake up and be like, what's happening here? This is really unfortunate. I'm not even like a diehard Battlefield fan or anything. Like it was just that one. I was like, gee, what is happening? But that being said, I think the newest moment that has really changed is the last couple of months, and how my new problem is like this existential feeling of never having enough time in the world to play all the video games I want to play. Just this year alone, all the major releases that are considered at least pretty good by most standards, there is not enough time on planet Earth to really truly play them all. Like as my job as a reviewer, I'm playing lots of them, but I'm also not like 100%ing them, and I'm certainly not seeing every game. There's too many games out there. So it's like a good problem, but it's a bad one. And like that's the problem I've really realized this year. So yeah, I guess that's my update on the state of gaming or something. But next question is Andrew Nunez 3258. A question: do you see Killzone or Infamous doing a comeback? Maybe remasters. The PS3 era was quite something regarding starting video game franchises. Yeah, a lot of new IP in that era. And now I feel like people say like we're never going to get new intellectual property. Everything's a sequel. So here we are talking about sequels. I really want to do Infamous. God damn it. And with I don't know how it works. I don't know how much these high up corpos like Greenlight Games or anything like that. But with Jim Ryan being out at Sony, like he's head of Sony Interactive, maybe the mindset will change. Maybe new guard will come in and, you know, approve different games or revive different franchises. I know it's not necessarily up to one person at the top. There's a lot more factors in place there, but you never know. With Infamous, I'd really like to see it come back because now things are in full swing. We have a lot of superhero games. We have more superhero games coming down the line. Like they announced that Iron Man game a while back. Like Spider-Man is killing it, clearly. So I think the Infamous franchise has the opportunity to once again create a new hero and create new powers and just have fun with that. I think people would really attach to that in this day and age with so many superhero movies. And like I said, the games, a fresh new hero could be good. And I think it's proven twice now that they can do that. There's Delson Rowe, who was all right, but then there's Cole, who was great. So like they can definitely do a third new character. I don't necessarily need Cole to come back. I would like it, but they can definitely do something there. Killzone, less likely, I feel. I think Killzone, it's such a hard uphill battle with so many intense first-person shooters out there that are super competitive and free to play, and people are playing them. And I mean, if Halo had a hard time coming back, it's got to be even more rough for Killzone. And I say that with heavy heart. I think Killzone 3 was like one of the best things ever. Call Me Maple says, have you ever heard of the game Connectica for PlayStation 2? It was the first game from a little-known developer called Santa Monica Studios. Dude, are you kidding me? So I took this question specifically because I saw someone say Connectica. Connectica was a game I was obsessed with for a while because I saw it in a magazine and it looked all like futuristic and weird, and it was like naked people on futuristic wheels cruising through environments and like sexy robot ladies and shit. And I was like, that seems so cool. That's like, we don't have anything like that. So I was so excited. And I got the game and it was pretty good. It wasn't the most incredible game in the world, but it was fun. Like if I revisited it now, I don't know if it would hold up too much, but it was at a good time. It was like the SSX Tricky days. So it was like kind of downhill jam racing, doing cool air tricks. The game had incredible aerial tricks with cool animations and stuff like that. And then Sony Santa Monica would just move on to do God of War. Crazy. Call Me Maple also asks, what do you think the chances are we'll see a remake or a reboot in between God of War releases? I'll eat my shoe or my hat or whatever they say. I don't think there's a shot of that happening. Hey, now before we keep going, this Q&A video is brought to you by Manscaped. Now, I've talked about Manscaped in various places before. I've been using it for a long time. I am one of the 9 million people using all of their different products for hygiene. Now, because I do have all of their stuff and I have been using it for a while, I think this makes a really good gift. This is their Performance Package 4.0. Just the presentation alone, the whole unboxing experience. I mean, look at this. This has all types of surprises. The biggest thing, of course, is the lawnmower. This is the 4.0 version. It is IPX7 water resistant, so you can use it in the bathroom, no problem. It's got a handy dandy, like kind of wireless charging base. You just set it and forget it. Then, of course, you also get the weed whacker for your ears and nose, along with their line of crop preserver and crop reviver for your downstairs region. Freshen things up a bit. Whether you're a big beard guy or you keep things a little bit more simple like me, Manscaped absolutely has you covered. And I got you covered with a link you should check out. Get 20% off, free international shipping, and 2 free gifts when you click the link in the description down below and you use code ONJAKE. Just go to manscaped.com and use that code ONJAKE. That's ONJAKE. Go click it, check it out. It helps support the show, and big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. FGates1 says, your new setup looks great, Jake. I didn't, this isn't a question, but I just wanted to say thank you. I'm about only 50% done with what I'm trying to do here. The camera angle might change, and I'm still going for that like deep, moody, dark Bruce Wayne office study type vibe. And I'm not there yet. I need things on the walls. I'm going to put cool things on the walls, like ornate curtains. I'm going to try and really go all in on the maximalist thing here. So it's going to slowly build out, so keep your eyes peeled. Alex Miller 2207 says, do you ever get frustrated that sometimes you have to binge through games to review them rather than be able to relax a bit more and take your time? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not really going to complain because I know nobody would want to hear that with this type of job. It's a cool job. I love it. But yeah, really the ones that piss me off the most, I'll be totally honest, they're Souls-like games because, as I've talked about many times before, I'm very bad at them, and I am a little bit of a rage gamer sometimes, and I just feel like I'm like, I need to progress. Please, you are holding me back from doing my job. Fuck. Like, I just get so like personally angry at them. It's not the game's fault. I just have to focus and be patient and quote unquote get good. But it's the only time in my job where sometimes it comes up and I'm like, oh, not another one, you know? But again, not complaining. I do want to piggyback that question off with another one. This is from Justin Billy 6961, who says, I've been playing games for basically my entire life, and this is the long one, so stick with me. I've been playing games for basically my whole life. One of my first games was Halo. I remember just adoring the first one. I've sunken hundreds of hours into all of them, and while I have expanded my taste quite a bit, I'll go back and play them all the time. However, with Infinite, I can't help but blow up into a rage when I play the multiplayer. I do enjoy the game. I feel it's really fun, but I have had a couple of bad matches, and I'll be seeing red for the rest of the night. I think it has a lot to do with my own pride and my history with the games, so when I'm not performing to what I consider to be my standards, which is a lot, honestly, it cuts deeper than another game probably would, I suppose. So my questions for you is, do you have any games that you have love-hate relationships with? Games that you enjoy playing mechanically, but for whatever reason, they just stress or anger you to the point that you don't want to play? Or do you take a philosophical approach and just try to enjoy the game, regardless of all those aspects? Would love to hear your thoughts. So for me, and I hear your problem, and I've had that problem too. A lot of it, like, this is gonna sound weird, but like a lot of it does come with getting older. I've started to really come into this in the last like year or two. You know, it's like time is short, not as much time to play games. We still try and commit as much time as we can to play games, but it's not the same. So you have to kind of rewire your brain and go into it kind of chuckling, being like, yeah, I'm soft now. I'm old now. I can't play 9 hours a day on my day off, even just to like hone those skills. No, your skills are getting soft. Also with me, and it might be with you, your patience, your fuse is shorter, specifically because you only have so much time to play games now. And then when you do, you're not necessarily quote unquote successful at it. You're having not a good time because you're losing. So you almost take it more personally because you're like, I had 2 hours to sit down and have a good time and I'm pissed. So you, like I said, you have to kind of rewire your brain and accept that like you're getting old. And I say we're getting older, but we're not like old. It's just adulthood, really. I don't know. It's a hard one to talk about. I would love to expand upon that in another, video or something, great idea, but good luck on your gaming journey. Ducky Bread says, I seen that pen flip in your Alan Wake 2 video, and I have to know, do you have a favorite brand of pen that you go to? I really love and appreciate people that take pens and penmanship and writing seriously. Unfortunately, though, I'm not like a note taker with games. Definitely not a physical note taker. I did for a while have a notepad when I used to be like more busy somehow. I changed my workflow, but I used to have a pad next to me that I would write down to do things all day and then cross them off. That actually helped me stay organized because I'm an absolute mess. But along with that, when I do take notes for games, it's not a lot usually. I just kind of all up here. Usually when I take notes, it's for like a joke or a bit or something dumb in a game. Like, okay, so here's my notes for, and this is, I shit you not, this is all my notes for Phantom Liberty. It's for Cyberpunk, the DLC. It says, the bad guy's best friend is Brick Bazooka. That note was written at 10:35 at night a couple of days ago. So that's my process. Mexadankus Sanchez on Patreon says, hey Jake, I know pizza is your specialty, but are you a burger guy? If so, how do you like yours? Dude, okay, so for me, I call it the menu burger. I know it's like a thing, but the film, The Menu, highly recommend it. Very good movie. At one point in the movie, Ray Fiennes just makes a simple, regular old-fashioned cheeseburger, and he makes it in a very simple but artful way. It's perfect. It's essentially like I prefer that style of burger, and I always have, and I like kind of knew how to kind of make it like that, but seeing that process so simple and so boiled down, I literally just like fired up the movie one day, skipped to that scene, and literally like looked over here and made the burger the exact same way. And now it's the only way I will have homemade burgers. If your mom at the barbecue brings out like one of those piece of shit frozen burgers, get out of here. But other than that, how do I like my burger? My problem is I like it all ways. I like it McDonald's, I like it Whopper, I like it, you know, Cowboy Burger, I like it Applebee's Burger, like a Friday's Burger. I love all, I'm just disgusting. I eat everything. My curse is that I like all types of food pretty much. Lewis Craig says, based on the leaks from Xbox, we saw the design of a potential new system. What would you want to see from a design aesthetic perspective from this gen's mid-gen consoles? And what has been your best looking consoles of the past? Sorry, super designy question. No, I love a designy question. I really love and appreciate design. I don't really have enough of the terminology or the education behind it to back up like talking about this stuff, but I really think that the new Xbox Series X, that leaked refresh, that kind of slimming down of it, I don't like that it's not a box. It's round. It's like a cylinder. I'm not really about it. I'm glad they're still keeping it simple, but I really like the design of the regular Xbox Series X. I like a simple black thing. The PlayStation 5 for me is too busy. I love white tech, like clean white hardware. Like I especially with cell phones, I gravitate towards that. But the PlayStation 5 is just too big and tacky looking. It's weird. That is not me like console warring or anything like that. I'm not talking about it. It's literally just from a design perspective. I would like to see. I actually think PlayStation's streamlined and like slimmed down versions of their consoles get better and better. Like when the PS3 eventually got down to this very, very clean, minimalist, almost kind of matte style. I really, really liked that. The last PlayStation 3 design. I really like simplicity. I like these things to kind of disappear a little bit for the most part. I say that as somebody who I'm going for like a maximalist style bedroom here. But yeah, now Chet Tinsley 1417 says, what are some of your favorite pieces of gaming music? Travelers from Outer Wilds always gets me for some reason. I've heard a lot of people talk about the Outer Wilds music. It's a game I never, I never really got into it. I never had time to like jump in and fully go in on that. So, sorry, don't yell at me. But for me, video game music, it always changes. I love all of it. I've talked a lot about how I love Jesper Kid's work on so many classic games from like the PS2 era. You know, there's a lot of good shit there. But also, if we're talking classic era, like Final Fantasy music really does it for me, specifically Final Fantasy X. Xanarkand, I think, is like one of the best things ever written. It's gorgeous. But for today, I'm just going to throw one at you from Jesper Kid. It is from the original Hitman 2, Silent Assassin, not the new Hitman 2. 47 makes a decision. This is like the beginning of the game where 47 is retired in a Sicilian church as the gardener, and then mafia men come and kidnap the priest, and essentially 47's like, is it time to fucking kill again? Let's do it. And it's a whole montage of him opening, like digging up, like John Wick style, like digging up his suitcase with his weapons, taking him out, looking at him. It's him calling Diana and being like, yeah, I'm back. And the music is very dramatic. It's like this swelling, heroic, kind of like Godfather. A lot of Silent Assassin 2's music and vibe was really inspired by The Godfather. And this song just has like a big band, grandiose thing to it. It's something like you think you'd hear at like a San Gennaro parade in Little Italy or something like that. But it is so epic. And it's just something I listen to when I want to get hyped, you know? That's embarrassing. Anyway, this has been a Q&A. I got to wrap this up. I went on way too long. Sorry. But thank you for watching this. And thank you to YouTube memberships and Patreon people for having my back. And also thank you to any of you for leaving comments in this video for me to answer on the next one. Let me know what you think about some of my hot takes around Max Payne 3 or Xbox's console designs or what the next Jim Ryan, like what franchises he should revive. I'm stumbling over my words a lot today, but let me know what you think about any of this stuff. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for coming around here for a longer video too and just listening to me ramble. I do appreciate that. I'm just talking about stuff I like here, so thanks for hanging out. But I'm Jake Baldino. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.